Alright, without any frou-frou bullshit in the beginning, I'm going to launch right into this. This is just going to be a quick little tour of one of the facilities that I've been putting together that's pretty much completed for the 15th use, and this is just kind of a showcase of the different features of it, so we'll jump in. Alright, so this facility is Joint Base Incirkli. It's a large facility in Aurillac that requires both that and Apex to function because I've used a lot of Apex components to build this place. And the general idea with this is that it serves as a facility for the MEU as a whole to be able to use for training, both at the SOI level for new applicants coming in and getting trained, and for continuing education for various courses going on. The rifle ranges are also sort of included right now, and just for general training use, mostly by the air combat element, but also significantly by ground in this particular facility. So we'll just go for a walk around and show you what's here. Actually, I'll stay here. Every in this particular facility, every platoon basically or element has its own building, um, and they all kind of have their own offices. Each team and squad is kind of in its own little place. So this is the ground combat element company commander's office, and in the rest of this barracks building are the other offices and places where units spawn for the ground combat element. As you can see, this one is the headquarters building. I've been making signs for everything because I'm silly like that, so everything's labeled, and you can kind of find your way around easily that way, which some people kind of chuckle at a little bit, but I think it brings it to life a little bit, makes it look a little bit more real, and frankly, just makes it easier for people to find their way around. Anyway, I'll work my way around. As I said, this is the headquarters building. That also includes 1st Platoon, that's the 2nd Platoon building, 3rd Platoon, and Weapons Platoon down the end. Work my way around this side. This is on the north side of the Aurillac Air Base, by the way, up in this area here, all along the north side of it. This is the Armory building. This is where all the ammo boxes for GCE are, and the doors open and close, so you can get into both sides, and there's Armory boxes in both of them. And this is really one of the only two buildings that have HESCO barriers, which is kind of a unique feature. I try to, as you can see, use walls to build things to give it a more permanent, lived-in feel. But HESCO barriers are there for a reason, for blast resistance, so that's why they're there. This building isn't completed or outfitted yet, but this is the MEU headquarters building. There's also light vehicle storage that includes Humvees in each of these buildings and various things like that. There's a larger building for larger pair of buildings for the heavy vehicles, including the MRAPs on one side, and all the armor assets on the other side. And of course, if more are needed, they can always be spawned in by a Zeus controller. And this building is the armor building, so Gator and Titan, that's where you live. As you can see, sort of going around this, the entire ground area here, where the ground combat element stages and functions as a place to live and operate, is walled off from the air side of the airfield, as is the case with any real airport or any military airport as well. There is a very clear distinction between ground side and air side, and these are gated off and walled off so that private numbnuts can't walk out and become foreign object debris in a jet engine, which we don't want to have happen. There's staging pads here though, so it's easy to get out, and it's really just a, I'll show you later, these are triggered in an interesting, it's a funny phrase to use, but they're triggered in an interesting way, so you can, they're automatic from one way only. And my silly signs again, because I like to warn people that they're about to do something stupid. And I don't know why those doors are open. That creeps me out when that happens. Anyway, we'll float back around the ground combat element. This whole area, this whole northeastern area of Al Rayaq is the base itself, and actually scattered across the map there are other facilities, and we'll go take a quick tour of those as well. Um, there are two classroom buildings here that have been basically ported and duplicated from the SOI facility. That's the School of Infantry for anybody who's not aware. That's where we train our new infantry members and our new supporting asset members who are going to be working out in the field. As you can see, this is SOI's own building, and I'll get to footprints later. That one, actually, this is the only place this one is at. This is our sort of standard load-in when we get into, it's not a proper platoon formation. You'll see that on the other side, but this is just our standard formation for load-in when we get into operations, and that's to kind of help people get used to that as they get prepped in SOI, as they're getting their gear and getting lined up for each day as they're doing their work. It makes things go faster, and I'm trying to deploy them around where they're useful to get people more to reduce the time that it takes to get loaded into operations, because that can be kind of hellish sometimes with teams bumping into each other. Anyway, the SOI building is exactly as it is everywhere else. I'll get to these, actually, the MERS poles. They're pretty fun. But this is just the standard SOI classroom. You can sit in all the chairs, and everybody does. And there's slideshows set up here just as it is in the normal SOI facility. Go back out on the other side. This is the main parade deck with the memorial and platoon formations and everything. That's the medical building. That includes that's where the respawn position is, and the medical fly car over there in case they got to go grab somebody. And there's a medical helipad marked out there for easy identification. Again, it's kind of, for most Arma stuff, it's sort of silly shit, but I tried to make this place look pretty, pretty alive, pretty much the way it would be, and give it that sort of, realistic feel to it. Same thing with these light towers. A lot of this concrete wasn't here. I paved it all and put in these light towers. So there's some light in these areas. I'll just hit the other classroom building real quick. This is the, again, weird door open thing. This is the flight school building, and a rabbit, apparently. Student naval aviator hops. And private slithers. Anyway, this is not set up right now with any slideshows or anything like that, but should they want to use it, it's here. And it's a facility that's available for them, though it seems that the billboard has glitched into the ceiling. Okay. No MERS pole on this side. We'll go back out. This is my own little touch, is the memorial here, and to go with that, I have 3 full platoon formations for our 3 ground combat element platoons. In case we have any, hopefully we have no more funeral services, but we had one recently, unfortunately, for Corporal Corium, who was a dear member of ours, and should we have the need for anything as unfortunate as that, or a happier ceremonial occasion, which I hope we'll have occasion for, then we have this available, and it is mated up with our memorial, which I've sort of personalized a little bit. It has our wall of honor, which texture is not showing up very well, but it's sort of marbled, and has our 2 members who we've taken special care to honor after they've passed. This building is the ACE headquarters building. That's where our Air Combat Element lives. It's got ACE Commander's office and various other things. They have their own little armory box in there for their ACE stuff. And we'll just make a quick circuit around the airfield. I've got various, a couple Humvees and various airfield vehicles scattered around. I was careful about the loadouts to make sure that things have toolkits and the appropriate gear in them that people need. So I really have done my best to think about, uh, you know, what needs to be where, and that goes right down to the inventory of all the vehicles by type. There's sort of the main airside gate, and that leads up to the, for the north end at least, and that leads up to the SOI north range up there, which I'll show you. And these two ramps are Vikings. We're now down an aircraft, so I can get rid of one of these, unfortunately. My favorite detachment. This was actually the group for which this facility was built originally. And you'll see that with the gate guard when we get out to the main entrance. That was specifically requested by one of the Viking members. Though unfortunately they're going away, which I'm sad about, but hey, happens. All right, we'll go back across the runway. One strip here, 1-5, and no, that is backwards. That is weird. It's this is runway 9er, and the other one is 27, and I've included hold short markers because being a pilot, I'm sort of a stickler about shit like that. So, ta-da. Same goes for a lot of things, you know, the roads that I've built across the place. Those roads that were up there that we were rolling around were not originally there. They're all added in for the purpose of this facility. Same as all these walls and everything. Keep it all walled off from the outside. This is sort of the west edge of the base. This is all, now they're, what are they, combat? It's hard to keep track these days. Ace is switching around call signs like crazy, but what used to be Avenger is here with their F-35. All freaking 6 of them. Thankfully managed to get an extra hangar in there and use up that ramp. This is the rearm and repair pad with its, you know, standard bunkers that you might see near a rearm repair at the ammo dump, and a hot cargo ramp, which is you know, it wasn't necessary, but it was something I just added in for the hell of it. All military air bases, for anybody who's not aware, have those. Their purpose is for aircraft who have had what's called a hang fire in flight, where a weapon goes armed and is attempted to be launched, but is unable to actually get loose from the airframe, or there's another problem, like you know, some other problem that causes it to not depart the aircraft while potentially being armed. They'll land those and taxi them right into hot cargo to keep them separated from anything else, and that's the only other place where there's HESCO barriers for, again, blast protection. We have our enormous, gargantuan rotary wing ramp for all of our gunfighters, our warhorses, and there's something else now, and our MV-22s. There used to be a couple more of those, but they've downsized. Down this end is flight training that have their own jet trainers and single engine trainers and a couple helicopter trainers. A ready ramp. Back across the other way. OPFOR identification and or use. And Allied forces. The Army and the Brits. This is something that I'm particularly, again, you know, pilot and an air traffic controller on the VATSIM network, for anybody who knows what that is. Congratulations. You're a nerd like me. And I didn't think that that little heap of shit was an appropriate tower for an airbase of this size. And so I built a new one that was properly elevated and much better placed. And this has its own, it's got a MERS pole in it, which again I'll get to, and you really have a beautiful view of the entire facility from here. So it serves its purpose well. Okay. Take a quick detour off of the main airfield area for a second. We'll check out the SOI North Range. I haven't populated all of this, but We have two facilities up here that are important to the SOI process. First, the grenade range here, still walled off with its targets exactly as it is in the normal Stratus map. And right next to it, which I haven't populated with rocks and trees and things, but that's a excuse me, an upcoming step, is the fire and maneuver range to practice bounding movement, smoke cover, cover by fire, and all that. It's an absolutely essential part of the SOI process, and that's something that I have ported over and set up here as well for their use. So that is the SOI North Range. You'll notice there is also a range control tower here for people to observe what's going on and to provide range control to make sure that nobody's wandering into somewhere where they shouldn't be and getting shot or fragged by somebody. Just another little real-life touch to add to it. Scooting back over the other way, actually all the way up in the corner of the map here, it's been downsized greatly to reduce frame drop, and I have the scripts for it turned off right now, but if you follow the curve of these barriers, it goes up to a small rifle range, which when I have the scripts running, has everything but the ammunition limiter script running. So you have to count your rounds, but it has all the proper facilities for it, and 5 lanes, both on the known and unknown distance courses for shooters, and it's fully functional when it's turned on. Alright, take a quick jump real quick. And we'll go down to... I can't see any of my map markings right now. There's various map reading things that SOI has to identify stuff. There's a land nav course. I won't bore you by going there because that's literally just a MERS pole, a tent, and a couple ammo boxes and things to start it off. But that is, there's a whole range out there where there's very little in the way of identifying characteristics other than terrain. So it's the perfect sort of place for people to get accustomed to land navigation and really, examine their terrain to know where they are and where they're going. Down here is the South Range, and I will jump there real quick if I can remember where I'm going. I'll smoke. Oh. Oh, that's why. Right. Again, range control tower with the MERS pole at the bottom of it where people jump to this location. And this, again, you have a point that oversees both ranges with very good visibility to observe what's going on, to critique things, and to ensure that there's no friendly fire incidents or anything like that. There's two parts of this. There's the SOI rifle familiarization range here. Again, these are ported directly from the SOI template, and the only moves that I've made of targets are laterally to get them around trees. That's it. Everything is exactly as it is on the Stratus School of Infantry map. And this has the normal familiarization range set up for rifle all the way up that hilltop at the other side. And this range here is the anti-tank weapons familiarization for people who practice using the Law and the AT-4. And somehow I flipped a tank. That wasn't flipped when I placed it there. That's cool. We'll have to remember that one. But this provides multiple opportunities to engage both soft and hard targets, including in-placed machine guns in bunkers, and some really very, for anti-tank weapons, some very distant targets out here. Again, exactly as it is in Stratus SOI. It's just been ported over and plopped. The one other major facility here that is of interest, unfortunately there would be the Nimitz, but we don't have it anymore. The one other very cool facility is the Air Weapons Range, Santa Bar, where we have a range control facility here with a range tower, and this one's a little bit better set up with like an ammo box and things like that because it's designed specifically for um, JTACs and flight staff to use as a really serious range control facility and a platform from which to deliver 9 lines for pilot training. Out here in the range itself, we have a bunch of targets, some various artillery batteries, some checkpoints, mortar teams, including this fairly sneaky one sitting here. A headquarters facility, several convoys, if I didn't mention that, including an armored convoy all the way the heck out here, and another convoy rolling through the town over here. And believe it or not, with appropriate view distance, all of these, the entire thing is easily visible from that range control tower, which is fantastic. This is the prime area for that and has been basically walled off with its red box for that purpose. Okay, so with that said and done, I think it's probably a good time. This is nearly all I have. That's it for facilities and actually just taking a walk around. But I'd like to, just showcase a couple of the neat active features, of which there aren't many, but there are a few. Well, 2 really, as far as I can tell. But the first one that I mentioned was the gates, so we'll go and check that out. I don't know why I decided to drive into a building there, that's fine. So if I pull up to this gate right here, you'll notice it doesn't just open. It's not triggered to do that. There's no trigger on this side to open it. However, if I get out, I walk up to it and scroll wheel, it will open. So I can open it manually from this side. That prevents people from just willy-nilly walking out without thinking about it onto the air side. They actually have to make a conscious decision to open the gate and do that. And you see, it stays open because I'm still sitting here. If I back up a little bit and give it 5 seconds, it's probably enough distance. Maybe not. That'll do. You see, it closes automatically. Either side, if you leave the immediate vicinity of it for more than 5 seconds, it will close automatically, which is part of the nice feature of this. So you always, coming from the land side to the air side, you have to make a conscious decision to go air side. So if I go out here, I go do my thing, tooling around, and allow it to reset. Run over Mr. Rabbit over there. And then I decide I want to come off the air side. All of these are triggered to be automatic from the air side, because there's no security control going from air side to land side. That's not necessary. We just want to provide, a little barrier so private knucklehead doesn't go wandering out there into the jet engine, as I said. And the one other thing that I wanted to show that I can't remember for the life of me. Oh yeah, that's right. Just park up real quick. Is the MCAS system. These used to be, this is sort of an ace thing that I've stolen from the flight operations server, so thank you to whoever developed it for that, but it's just a get pause, set pause teleport system that I've turned into an actual separate script rather than having it in all the objects themselves. And these signs literally used to just be a black box with red lettering saying teleport. And that didn't seem very nice for any sort of, you know, I'm not like Mr. Super Immersion, but it was a little too much for me. So I changed these one night, and everybody got a good chuckle the next day when they came on, took a look at them, and realized what they were. But all it is a teleport script, and as you can see, I get scroll wheel options for where I want to go, and not everything is the same. For instance, this one at GCE headquarters is the only one that has the teleport to the rifle range, and that only goes to the 2 range towers and back to GCE. However, from here, I can get to ACE operations, which will go pretty much anywhere on the airfield. I can also get to the air traffic control tower, which as I said, has a really spectacular view of the whole facility. There's the little, that's just binoculars, C-tabs, and things like that, but, you know, again, it's stuff designed to make people able to work up here. And, again, you can pretty much get anywhere using the MERS system to all the appropriate facilities, and, you know, all the range towers are linked together. So, with that said and done, that is my showcase. Where am I? There we go. There I am. That is my showcase of MCAS Incirkli, the Marine Corps Air Station in Incirkli, Al Rayaq. And if anybody has any constructive thoughts on it, then, you know, feel free to pass them on to me. But this place is designed for everybody to use for training, and I really want to kind of push it out that way if I can. So come on my server, use it, love it, and you know, tell me what I need to do with it if I got to change stuff. So thank you very much, and for anybody who's watching who is looking at this and thinking, oh, that's pretty damn cool, I wish I could play on that. Well, you can. We're always looking for applicants in the 15th, and we would love to have you. So, you know, if you do apply, talk to your recruiters, make sure you stick through your pipeline and get through and actually, you know, into your chosen billet. But we're always looking for infantrymen. Oh, great, I'm yawning. That's fun. We're always looking for infantrymen. We're always looking for pretty much everybody. So come on in. We'd love to have you. And that's about all I got to say.